So what did you learn from the class dynamics?
They had to watch all of these videos and really find their takeaways. Despite having all different personalities, they all achieved the same success, but they all needed the same amount of time and encouragement, but they all wanted it differently. But then you start talking about, okay, this is our topic for the day, and what did you think about this? What were your takeaways? And then immediately these quiet intellectual beings just start speaking to each other like they've known each other their whole lives and that they're best friends. And next thing you know, you're half an hour into it and they're still continuing their conversation because it related to them on that personal level. It was deeper than the academia. You know, it turned into a personal experience that they gained from not just themselves watching, but together as a whole. What can we learn together?
And so what have you learned in leadership?
Well, I guess a better question is, what didn't I learn?
Okay.
During this semester-long class, I've learned that leaders are not necessarily the people that you believe they are. You can't assign a trait to someone and say, therefore they're a leader. You have to look deeper than that. And I think with the videos that we watch really showed that.
To be a leader, you not only have to care about yourself, but you have to care about the people around you. People are people. All of these leaders hit me in a more emotional way of how much they really cared for other people and cared about themselves. One thing that Bob Artmetko said, relationships take precedence over transactions. And that's something that stuck with me.
My biggest takeaway is that leadership is a pendulum. And through the process of being a leader and going through everything, there's a lot of highs and lows. But the main act of a pendulum is that it keeps swinging. And that's what you have to do when you're a leader.
Is there a deeper continuity that you get from listening to the videos or watching the videos than you do from reading books or watching any other kind of structured interview process?
I think when you watch the videos, you build a connection with the person that's speaking, because you can hear the emotion in what they're saying. And sometimes you can relate better that way.
It's nice to see that there are different ways of viewing the same people. The way that I looked at it and my peers, how they looked at the different people, we saw the same video, we watched the same people, but we took different things. I could talk to you forever about a person that I've never met. And I think that's just something that it says a lot, that you can know a person without ever saying a word to them.
What I found amazing about the leaders is that with all of them, they did a lot of self-reflection. With mentors and teachers, they actually get you to look at yourself and look at your lives. Leaders teach you more than what's in the books. They teach you life lessons, and what they do is they don't necessarily focus on the how-to, but the why-to, why you're doing the things that you do. They help you find the sense of purpose in everything that you're doing. You can only influence others when you understand yourself.
Stephen, when you went through the TCAL library, the Center for Accountable Leadership, what is it that allowed you to really focus in on Jim Blanchard?
Well, when Dr. Teeters was describing them to us, he said that Jim Blanchard fired 150 people in the span of 6 months.
Wow.
And I really wanted to know why he did that.
Good. Can you say more about that?
Yes, I watched his video and I found out the reason he fired 150 people in such a short span of time is because one day he decided that he didn't want anyone in the company who his workers wouldn't feel comfortable working for. Anyone who was disrespectful or untrustworthy. But none of that would have been anything if you weren't willing to make sure everyone did exactly that in this company.
Maddie, I understand you chose your subject for your thesis based upon your work in this class, correct?
Absolutely.
Can you frame what you did with your thesis for us, and also tell us a little bit about what you found so interesting about the entire experience?
We selected a thesis and connected it to what we learned from the leaders and what we learned from the deliverables. And the one I chose was nurturing interpersonal relationships in knowledge-sharing environments. When they boiled it all down, it came down to two key concepts, and that was the trust in your coworker or whoever it is you're working with, trust in their competence and trust in their benevolence. Looking at the stories that the leaders had to share through that lens really helped me understand what ended up being a pretty extensive commonality that they all shared.
Students, when you consider what you've done this whole semester, what would you tell any student considering taking this class?
Oh, they should.
Why?
Because they can learn a lot of useful information. These leaders are all very successful, and so clearly they have useful information. And if they're willing to share it, you should listen.
Absolutely. Everything we learned in this class is relevant to anything that we'd want to pursue.
It really goes further than just that life memoir. It becomes something that you take with you forever. This is not just a class. This is something you take with you for the rest of your life.